Awesome. Yeah. Over to you.
Awesome. So yeah, so those are just some notable brands that are being used by that have a loyalty program with Smile, which is super exciting because it's part of their growth strategy and their marketing as well. So I'm going to go through a couple of examples with some brands, which is super exciting because I always feel like we can learn from them and kind of what they're doing to be successful. So first of all, to be successful in e-commerce, you really need we've identified 3 key points, right? And of course, there's other points, but really you need a brand loyalty. So you need customers to be coming back to you, which enters into retention. And those two together can really build a strong community, that you're able to introduce new products, new features to these customers and kind of get these referrals, word of mouth marketing, reviews, and all of the things that make a Shopify store, really just any e-commerce store, successful. Another thing is an omnichannel experience. The way we all shop is so differently, especially across generations. And, you really need to be able to provide your customers the ability to pick up if they're shopping on mobile and they decide to come back, on a desktop or on a tablet, that they're able to come back and kind of pick up where they left off. Or if you have a brick and mortar, are you offering the same customer experience online as you're offering it in store? Kind of, that's sort of what the omnichannel experience is. And it's kind of growing, especially as like there's more ways to shop now, especially through social media integrations, in store, through a mobile app, and kind of all the ways to just make a really great experience no matter where your customer shops. And then sort of what does customer loyalty look like? So really kind of any e-commerce brand is going to acquire customers, and really the loyalty begins from the moment they land on your website. Again, whether it's through an app, whether it's through a desktop, whether it's in store, but you're going to acquire customers and incentivize them to complete that first purchase, right? So whether it's through a sale or through, they're going to get 5 times the points on a purchase, just really getting them through that front door and kind of getting your customers to purchase. Then you're going to engage with them with meaningful rewards, right? So you're going to offer sort of something in exchange for their purchase. So that's going to create a loyalty loop. So if you get them to spend, X amount of dollars, you're going to provide X amount of points. So really what that does is that gets points into their balance, into sort of their bank, so that they're able to come back for a second purchase. And then retain customers by offering, just like I mentioned, that great customer experience. And you're going to do that through a reward program that can really build brand community and, like I said, brand loyalty. And really what this does is ultimately it's going to, once you've acquired the customer and have engaged them with the reward, you're really building up that community that can, again, lend itself to being a great product review, a referral that they refer to their friends and their community as well. And overall, just a loyalty, so that they're able to come back for a second purchase. And one of the strategies is going to be to offer meaningful rewards. So what does a successful loyalty program look like? So, some of the most successful brands that we've worked with, that are from small businesses to kind of these large enterprises, all of them have sort of something in common, which is their loyalty program is well branded. So if it's the look, if it's the aesthetic, the brand name, and even sort of kind of essentially the brand of their store. So it's an extension of what they've built. It serves their customers. So in some instances, these customers have been asking for a way to be rewarded for the purchases, especially if they're coming back to kind of make repeat purchases. And then not just offering just a reward program just to have it, set it and forget it. A successful loyalty program is really to create meaningful rewards. So you're going to give them something that is obviously not going to break your bank, or your margins as an e-commerce brand, but it's going to be rewarding to their customers and is going to make it meaningful for them to kind of come back and purchase and earn rewards on what they buy. And then one I'm going to touch on a little bit later on is maximizing loyalty points during certain seasons. What this does is this locks customers in to kind of have this bank of points that they're able to use on their second purchase. So it creates this loop of them coming back for a second time and even a third time as they earn on each purchase. And then, yeah, like I had mentioned, e-commerce, omni-channel commerce. So that is essentially, are they able to kind of check out with the same methods, whether if they were shopping online or in store? And then omni-channel marketing, are you offering the same sale in stores online? Is everything that you are promoting online matches in store, or kind of even if you don't have a store, is it matching on an app you've created, on social media platforms, especially now that Shopify has like integrations with like TikTok and Instagram? Kind of that's a whole new way of getting customers to shop. And so this brand is called Drink Monday. They are a zero alcohol beverage brand, and they have an amazing story. We kind of covered them on our blog, but what they really do well is they wanted to find a way to kind of reward customers for really how much they were spending with them. And so some ways they've identified of how customers can earn points is obviously placing an order. So they get 2 points for every dollar spent, and all of that will maximize into how much they earn. And then they also do they offer loyalty points based on social actions. So for every like on Facebook, that's equals 50 points. If they follow them on Instagram, that's another 50 points. Same on Twitter. And if they're sharing kind of products and things like that, they're able to get points for that as well. So really, these are kind of simple ways that can engage customers. So they're earning on every dollar they spent, but they're also earning on social actions. And so this is just a great example, and they've even branded to kind of name their points called Monday points. And so, yeah, this is a cool story. Um, and then we have another example. So taking a loyalty program a little step further, you can offer VIP programs. So one of the cool examples is this sunglasses brand called Detour Sunglasses. They've really created a great VIP program that customers are able to kind of unlock each step as they earn. So, from bronze to diamond, they're going to get more rewards. So, if you're in the bronze section, you're going to offer one time the points. And then if you're on the diamond, every dollar is going to be worth two times the points. So, what this does is kind of reduces churn rate in a way that you get customers to kind of buy into your program, but then there's also this psychology of status. So, um, you know, as you move into these different VIP tiers, you're going to be earning more and you're going to be getting different incentives. And so it's just going to get customers to kind of come back and kind of, even if they're not thinking about loyalty, they're going to essentially, hopefully, they love your product. But every time they purchase, they're going to be moving into a different VIP tier. And so, really, it's just plays into the psychology of providing something that is meaningful for customers. And then it's going to lend into building this brand community. And some of the cool things that brands that are using VIP programs, they've been able to reduce the churn rate and kind of get customers to kind of come back and identify how long is it between their first and second purchase and so on. So, yeah, and again, it's pretty well branded for them, so it works really well for them. I would say the second strategy to kind of skyrocket repeat purchases is, I've talked about it, is omni-channel experience. So really providing shoppers, no matter their age, their background, where they're shopping at, just the same level of experience across the board. I read a stat where Gen X are the most likely to kind of try out new programs like curbside pickup or meal delivery services, like grocery delivery services and things like that. And and then I've also read where a lot of Gen Z users are heading to TikTok now to kind of search products and kind of use it as a search engine versus how I know for myself as a millennial kind of use Google as the main search engine. So we're seeing just different types of generational shoppers and kind of how they research for a product, how they search for something, how they search for reviews. And so just kind of making sure that no matter where you're at, you're offering the same level of experience. So, with this, we're not saying you have to be in every social platform and every integration that Shopify offers, but really wherever you're at, just you're providing the same level of customer experience. And that kind of lends into if you're creating a mobile app, if you're creating a pop-up, an event or something, just creating something that is going to emphasize that relationship over sales and kind of make that customer feel, like they're more than just a transaction. Um, and then, yeah, an omnichannel experience just ultimately incentivizes customers to come back with that loyalty program. If you're going to offer it in store and digital, it builds community and you just kind of just listen to the customer feedback. So this is a great candle company called O Comadre Candles. What they do is they have an amazing storefront that they offer rewards as well in store, so as well as online. So they're offering that same level of experience through that loyalty program inside their store, and customers are able to kind of earn if they're shopping in store or on their Shopify store. And then same goes with this example. Kedra is a fitness apparel brand based in Singapore. They just opened their first pop-up shop or their first retail location essentially. And again, they're offering the same rewards online as in store. And it kind of incentivizes customers that, if they build up points shopping in a actual physical store, Kedra is able to send emails to them to say, hey, you have 10 points. Be sure to spend it at your next stop at our store or online as well. And so they're able to kind of build these obviously first party data, but then they're also able to cater to the customers. They're able to kind of provide incentives for them to shop. And really, it's just a win for if you're shopping in store or online, you're kind of earning those points regardless. And then another strategy to kind of create these repeat purchases is a really great strategy, actually, that's kind of rewards the customer, but also as an e-commerce brand, you're not offering so many discounts and these 50% offs and these kind of outrageous sales that kind of eats into margins. So one of these is top-up bonus points. So this brand, ECS Coffee, what they do is off season. So whether it's slow months like spring, after New Year's, after the holidays, or even summer months where sales are typically slower, they'll offer these 5-time points on all purchases campaign. So before, normally every dollar spent equals 1 point. So during these specific days, whether it's a weekend or a specific campaign, they will offer every dollar spent will equal 5 points. So they maximize the points that a customer is able to earn. And what this does, it incentivizes customers to spend because they're earning more. But then they build up these points that they're able to use for a second purchase. So what this does is this guarantees a second purchase for your customers, especially if you're hitting them with some marketing strategies and you're kind of reminding them of these points. And so they're earning these points. ECS Coffee ran this through the summer months, which is typically slower for retail. And so they ran this for 2 days. And then a couple weeks later, they will create these double redemption campaigns. So just as a customer earned 5 times the points, they're able to redeem it and get more. So what this does is a couple weeks later, they rewarded, so get 50% more rewards when you spend your points this specific weekend. So the customer was able to earn more. But then even when they're redeeming for this campaign, they earn other points that they can use for a third purchase. So it's really creating this loyalty loop of customers to come back. And it's a great way to incentivize during slow seasons. And then even they ran this redemption campaign before Black Friday, so a couple weeks before today. And yeah, what this does is, again, it primes them to kind of come back. So ECS Coffee is able to run a campaign for Black Friday, and customers that have these loyalty points are able to spend it for during that specific Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But for ECS Coffee, because they're a brand that kind of has these, they're a coffee brand, but they also provide coffee gear, so like espresso machines, things that are very much in a high value. They're not able to kind of really create these 50% off campaigns because it really eats up into the margins, and it's really not viable as an e-commerce brand that is selling like $1,000 espresso machine and things like that. So this is a great alternative to kind of get customers engaged. And then you're offering a sale and a reward that is going to be beneficial for both you as a brand, but then also for the customer. And then one, of course, the success of it at all is kind of, it's their loyalty program is well branded, it engages and retain users, and they have two locations. So again, they're going into that omni-channel strategy of offering points in store as well as online. And so yeah, this is one of our favorite examples to kind of how to kind of restructure loyalty to make it work for you. And yeah, that's sort of hopefully I didn't go too fast, but yeah, those are just the strategies to kind of create these repeat purchase and kind of create essentially a good experience no matter where your shopper is shopping. So that's offering meaningful rewards, providing that omni-channel experience, and topping up the bonus points. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to send them my way right now.
That was wonderful, Jonathan. I must say the example stores that you gave us really provided us quite some insights. And yep, the floor is open for questions. And before we kind of jump in, I have a couple of questions of my own.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just wanted to know like how much is too much actually. So you mentioned that sometimes it can eat us back in terms of the commissions.
Yeah.
So is there some kind of safety net that Smile offers, or um, how can we kind of wrap around that?
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely what we say is you kind of want to kind of look, we don't have a set number because you want to look at your sales and kind of basically all of your analytics, right? So that's your churn rate, your repeat purchase rate, how often customers are coming in, what is your product valued at? Like, is it a candle company that is going to sell $10 to $15 candles? Is it going to be, again, like a coffee espresso machine that's going to sell $1,000 to $2,000 coffee machine? So it really just depends. But what we say is kind of offer loyalty points that kind of offer at least a 10% discount or a 15% off, which is what some customers did, like Detour Sunglasses. What a great loyalty program does that we've seen customers kind of implement it for is, so if you're offering kind of uh, these discounts of like 30% off, 50% off, especially during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, what it does, it primes customers to kind of wait to when you offer that next 50% off. So the customer is saying, this brand offered 50% off. Well, I'm going to hold off on for my second purchase when they offer another 50% off or even greater is what we've seen. So it creates this, what we call this discounting death. So customers are always
Uh-huh.
just waiting for the next discount. So it primes customers to wait for that. And with the loyalty program, you're kind of able to shy away from that because you're offering rewards and points through any purchase and throughout the year. And it's really beholden to the customer to kind of earn that 10% off or even 20% off. For me, there's this really cool skincare brand that uses Smile. And I was really excited when I first joined Smile and I realized that they were a customer. And so, yeah, because I had already been using them, I was able to earn points. And just the other day, I redeemed a 20% off. So that was exciting, right? Because it's 20% off. But yeah, I was able to earn that over like two purchases. So again, another thing that we advise customers is, or merchants, is that don't make your customers wait for that discount. So let them be able to earn the reward over a first or second purchase. Don't make them wait like 3 or 4 purchases for them to get $20 off or 15% off. So it's kind of looking at your analytics and just making sure what works for your business.
Awesome, awesome. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have a question from Eugene. So he says, what do you recommend if the products we are selling are some sort of, um, something that we don't buy that often, and you kind of rely on it just making new sales from new customers because of that. So it is not something that people come back, purchase it over and over again.
Yeah.
So Eugene asks, what do you recommend? Uh, if they have such products in their store.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend to kind of um because if it's not a product that people are spending a lot on or kind of coming back for, uh kind of maximize the points there with that first purchase so that they're able to kind of still have an incentive when they come back for a second purchase if it's 6 months later or even 9 months later. So like I mentioned, that coffee brand, what they do is because they have these high sell machines of like coffee gear and coffee brands, a lot of their customers do kind of wait a little while. They do sell coffee as well, so that I guess that kind of makes them come back a little sooner. But even for these big purchase items, they're still offering rewards on them that are kind of still builds up their points so that they're able to kind of come back. And so I would say just maximize with that first purchase, something that is viable so you're not giving a big discount away, but then you're still rewarding them and you're still valuing them. So I guess in that instance, you wouldn't want to make them wait for a second or third purchase. I would say let them earn the reward on that first one so that they either come back in 6 months and still have that reward, or they come back sooner than later and they still have that reward. So yeah, just figuring out what works, but still offering something within that first purchase that is I guess much bigger than if it was a candle company or a coffee brand.
That makes sense. Yeah. And it's a follow-up to what Eugene said earlier.
Oh yeah.
So are they kind of gonna remember their points, since most of the people are getting hit by emails again and again, telling them that, hey, you have this much points left, uh, or something like that. So
Yeah.
he wants to know. Yeah.
I would say because the customers are getting hit with emails, I would say I guess be a little bit more strategic with how you're kind of communicating those points. But yeah, another cool way to kind of I guess go around it, especially if you're introducing new products. One of these cool brands that we're gonna highlight, it's called the Nuke. They are essentially a meal company, but what they do is every time they introduce a new product, they are adding essentially double the points on that product. So it gets customers to kind of look at a new product and kind of hopefully remember the points that they have. But I would say a blend of marketing and kind of using the points to kind of introduce something new will kind of help remember them. In some instances, like we've seen some brands kind of do that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can definitely find some more examples and send them your way, Eugene, and then kind of see how customers kind of deal with that. I know we have a few customers that kind of use points as sort of a marketing tactic to kind of introduce new products, but then also in a way remember it reminds customers of the points that they've already had. So yeah.
Awesome. So I think that answers your question, Eugene. So we have another question. So, oh, excellent. Yeah.
Awesome.
So how often does FOMO work? More like a fear of missing out on things, especially when the loyalty points are expiring. And how important does that have to play a role in driving impulsive shopping? Do you have any strategies around that? That's a
Yeah.
really good question. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say FOMO is definitely a good, I guess, thing to have within shopping. I mean, I feel like we've all experienced FOMO at one point. But yeah, I would say FOMO does work in the sense of if your customer has, let's say, 50 points that are expiring, and that 50 points equals a 10% off. Um, what we've seen is customers actually do like fall back and kind of use that. So I would say just remind customers, but then also um, have wherever you're offering points, or whether it's through an email marketing campaign or something, remind customers when the points expire, so that they're able to kind of keep it in the back of their mind, kind of like, I need to use these points by December 31st. So a lot of customers do kind of have points that expire within the year and then they kind of don't roll over. And what they've used is email marketing strategies to kind of just remind customers of these expiring points. So FOMO in that sense does work. And yeah, and like I mentioned to Eugene, introducing new products with maximizing points is also a great strategy that we're kind of seeing a lot of merchants use it towards. And so it's just maximizing the points that they already have. And so hopefully it primes them to come back and to kind of spend with you.
Great, great. I hope that answers your question. And moving on to the next one. Uh, how do you measure your results and keep track of your budget on the loyalty side?
Say that one more time.
How do you measure your results and keep track of your budget with respect to, the loyalty and reward programs that you run on your store? Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of customers, what they do is, well, through Smile, they're able to kind of look at the analytics of that customer and the repeat purchase rate, which is why I say kind of it's a great also strategy if you're kind of looking to gather first party data based on your customers. So that first party data is just data that you gather for yourself. You're able to kind of see between that first and second purchase. But yeah, you're able to kind of there also kind of change sort of the different points that you're going to offer. So I would say analytics is a big one. So just making sure you're looking at the analytics between not only Smile or just whatever loyalty program you have, but within Shopify as well. So like I mentioned, what we advise our customers, merchants to kind of look at is kind of the price point of your products, kind of the repeat purchase rate, the churn rate, and then kind of how often your customers are kind of coming back. So um, all of that, we're putting this really great tool that maybe I'll send you Gideon to send out to all of the participants. We're putting
Yeah.
sort of a formula of kind of how you can gauge what kind of rewards that you can give out that's not going to eat into margins. Um, so yeah, I can definitely get that. It's sort of like this cool thing that we've kind of created, and you could probably send them out. Or if anybody wants it now, feel free to email me for sure.
Yeah, that would be great. We can send it along with the recording of the webinar to all the
Um,
attendees. And folks, if you have any more questions, feel free to shoot them up. And I think we have one more, Jonathan.
mhm.
Oh, yeah, it's a really good one, I guess. So how uh, will you kind of keep people engaged with your program in the long run? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, how to keep people engaged with the program?
in the long run.
Yeah, I would definitely say test out different strategies. So kind of if your customers aren't utilizing a loyalty program, let's say you have it and customers aren't joining, I would say test out different strategies. Like I said, that brand really, ECS Coffee really found success with running those double points and double redemption campaigns. So test some of those out. I would say Nuke has found success with offering double the points on new products and new features, new releases. Experiment with that. But then there's some examples to where, like I said, Detour Sunglasses, they have really found success with their VIP program. So it's buying into that psychology and getting customers engaged on different levels. Um, yeah, so I would say just try out different strategies. There's so many different ways customers are excited to earn, especially if they really love your product. They're going to refer to to their friends, to their own community. Even offering referrals is a great way to kind of get customers to kind of come back and even earn on those actions. So it's really just testing out what works for you. Like I said, we have merchants that have loyalty programs. They're a small business that is very like just starting new. It's like a candle company to Polaroid that offers these price points, but then they've been around for a long time. So every one is so different. But yeah, we kind of cover a lot of the strategies on our blog as well. So maybe I'll just send you, Gideon, a bunch of these links that you can send
Yeah.
out to everybody. But
Yep.
really, it's just trial and error and making sure that you're experimenting and you're listening to what customers want.
Awesome. Awesome. Think just one more question which I wanted to ask
Yeah,
since we don't have any other questions yet. So uh, I mean, and everybody knows that the advertising costs are increasing tremendously,
yeah,
and I see loyalty and retention has to play a very important role here. And what do you think every store owner should do when they plan on their marketing budget and campaigns? Should they really start to focus more on loyalty
yeah.
and trying to make most of the users who are already there, or should it still be a focus more on advertising rather than loyalty?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I would definitely say loyal. Well, first of all, I would definitely say ads is definitely becoming something that's not viable. It's becoming so expensive, especially if you're a small business owner just starting out. I mean, just even advertising on Facebook is sort of a pain, right? Because it's so impossible to reach organic traffic without having to pay. So I would say loyalty works really well because I mentioned it a little bit before, but it provides, as if you're an e-commerce brand owner, first party data. So that first party data is just data that is straight collected from your customers that's going to you. So it's not um, a lookalike audience from Facebook, or it's not an ad audience or anything. It's coming straight from you. And through that, you're able to kind of create that one-on-one relationship with a customer. So whether that's through an email, through an actual conversation in store, um, I would say loyalty kind of fulfills that gap of reaching out to customers. And then what it does, instead of fulfilling of like, I guess if a customer lands on you as a site visitor, the traditional way now is to target them with a cookie, target them with an ad after, but even that's going away. So I would say with the loyalty program, you're able to kind of capture the customer, especially if you're making that first sale, you're able to capture that customer and kind of lock them into this obviously loyalty cycle. But then what we say is emphasizing the relationship over the sales. So you're kind of gauging what type of customer they are, how often are they coming to your store, and then you're kind of able to kind of rework strategies around that. So I would say the loyalty program, what it does is it offers you that first party data. It offers you the opportunity to kind of build that community that everybody wants, especially if you're on an e-commerce, especially if you're a growing e-commerce brand. And then also with that loyalty program, if you offer referrals, that's an additional way to kind of get customers to come back to you. So whereas ads, you're shooting yourself like in the blind to where you're like, okay, let me spend X amount of dollars to hopefully get two sales. With that loyalty program, you're kind of capturing the customers as they land on your website through that loyalty program, through that first party data, and hopefully just building off of that sale and turning that into a good relationship that kind of builds that ultimately brand loyalty.
But that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we kind of wrap things up, I just would love to hear, a couple of tips before store owners and merchants go into BFCM and the holidays. And I was just thinking, since you mentioned the coffee brand who is making the most out of loyalty,
Yeah,
uh, and most of the users being on their mobile phones, I was just thinking maybe sending a notification, like a push notification through their mobile app and telling, hey, you have these much points left and it's
yeah.
expiring in a due course of time. And like, what do you suggest would be some best practices? A couple of them, would be
Yeah,
really
yeah.
great.
Well, I would definitely say like if you're looking to explore a loyalty program and you don't have one, it's definitely not too late to kind of test it out. So I would say test out Smile, just a plug. But if that is something that is not in your wheelhouse and you're just kind of in the early stages of exploring a loyalty program, um, I would say still continue your research, right? But if again, if you're not looking to enter a loyalty program now or for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or the holidays, I would say the easiest way for any brand to kind of build a great experience would be omni-channel. So just making sure that your communication is the same across the board. If you are integrating your Shopify store with TikTok or Instagram, or um, you're creating a pop-up event, making sure that that same experience is the same across the board. So from the moment the customer lands on your website to how they check out to how they even receive your product is all part of that experience. So that I think that's something that every e-commerce brand should do, and I think everybody's trying to get there. But I'd say that's an easy way to kind of create loyalty without a program. And then yeah, I would say if you do have a mobile version or a mobile app, push notifications are like essentially a dream, especially if you're not bombarding your customers all the time. Um, just reminding them of the points they have and the points that they can spend during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you remind them of your points and kind of, certain products that are, 10% off or buy one, get one free, um, that definitely certainly beats your margins versus offering 50% off, or these, outrageous campaigns that people do. Um, and, in a way, you kind of don't want to provide these large discounts because, like I said, your customers are going to be waiting for that next big discount. So, yeah, I would say if you have a mobile app, that is definitely a dream to kind of combine loyalty, push notifications, and that omni-channel experience as well.
Awesome. That is wonderful, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So I think we don't have any more questions. So no worries, everyone. If you have any questions, you can shoot to Jonathan's email, or you can feel free to reach out to us. We will definitely love to help you get up and running. And thank you so much. You've all been a wonderful audience for today. And I wish you have a pleasant day. And yeah, take care. Stay safe, guys.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and feel free to email me for with any questions if I didn't answer it or you were looking for something specific, feel free to email me.
Alrighty. Thank you, Jonathan. See you. Bye bye.
Awesome. Thank you.